We end every show in December the same way. We go in our bag of predictions, not mine, yours, from the preseason. And the rule around here is very simple. We have a scale of 1 to 10 that measures how bold the prediction was from you. And if I give it a 9.5 or bolder, and you hit the prediction, we ship you a chalice of supremacy. Jesse, I think we shipped 3 of them last year. We'll see how many this year. I'm going to go through some of the worst, though, because some of these crashed and burned. I mean, when you go bold, sometimes you crash. And the rule around here is if I'm going to risk a chalice of supremacy, you risk public embarrassment in December. And 4 of you are about to get thrown under the bus. Respectfully. Jeffrey in Cary, North Carolina. First up. Clemson becomes the first team since 2013 Fresno State with 3 1,000-yard receivers. Clemson did not have a single 1,000-yard receiver this year, Jeffrey. T.J. Moore was closest with 754. Antonio Williams was hurt some of the year. He had 604 yards. Wesco, 537. Cade Klubnik, obviously, regressed in terms of passing numbers this year. He was 2,800 his first year, 3,600 his second year, and then came back down to 2,750 his third year. I only gave this a 9 on the boldness scale. I actually thought it could happen. I didn't think it would, but I thought it could. Nonetheless, not even close. Next up, this one did get a 9.5 on the boldness scale. A chalice could have been 1, except that this was the prediction from Nick. Michigan State beats Michigan and Penn State at home this year. Year 2, Jonathan Smith will have his offense clicking. Year 2 ended up being the last year for Jonathan Smith in East Lansing. He got fired. Quarterback got benched. They lost to Penn State 28-10. They lost to Michigan 31-20. They started 3-0, and then they lost 8 in a row. So people quickly forgot about the 3-0 start. Kind of sad. So, yeah, that one was nowhere close. This one was creative, but also not close. I gave the next one a 9.5. Benjamin from Lawrence, Kansas got really bold. And he said, 4 flying creature mascots will make the playoff this year. Then he gave us several examples. Well, only one flying creature made the playoff this year, and that is a duck. They can fly. There was a great debate on the show back in August or July, whenever that was submitted, about whether a gamecock was a flying creature. We decided that it was, and then we quickly decided it's not going to matter. South Carolina's not playoff bound. Jacksonville State, probably not playoff bound. Iowa didn't make it. Louisville didn't make it. Boston College didn't make it. Kansas didn't make it. Georgia Tech flirted with it, but they didn't make it. So only one flying creature in the playoff. That got a 9.5, and that busted. And the last one, this one hits a little close to home. Hey, quick time out here. Are you subscribed to the channel? It doesn't cost anything. It's free. Please do it. It helps us maintain the show at this level. That's it. That's all I got. Back to the clip. John from Fort Worth, Texas said Nebraska becomes the Indiana of this year and makes the playoff with an 11-win season. I predicted Nebraska to make the playoff, and even I didn't say 11 wins. Nebraska went 7-5. Nebraska went 4-5 in league play. And I held out hope to the bitter end. Even when they had their second loss against Minnesota, I still held out hope. But they lost 3 of their final 4. And as much as it hurt me to watch it, it hurt even more to watch Will Compton watch it. Because I crawled in the foxhole with our guy. That's what friends do. And then I snuck out of the foxhole to go get a snack right as they lost to USC, and I never came back. I came back to visit, but then I left again right before the Penn State game, and I was nowhere to be found for the Iowa game. So in summary, I kind of hung out in the foxhole with William, but I didn't live in the foxhole. And it's a good thing because it turned out no one lived in the foxhole. Everyone died this year. Nebraska 7-5. Better luck next year. It'll just be with someone at quarterback other than Dylan Raiola because he has hit the transfer portal. So a couple of months ago on the show, I talked about a group called the Magnolia Foundation. And the reason that I did not mention it every other show is because we got such overwhelming feedback in the 2 shows that I mentioned it that, frankly, we got overwhelmed a little bit, and I kind of had to hit the brakes on it a little bit. Here's what the Magnolia Foundation is. In 2020, I moved to Nashville. Shortly thereafter, there was a big tornado that came through Nashville. It sideswiped my building. and I was out of it for a week. But it went over the Cumberland River, and it went into places like Cookeville, Tennessee. It was on the ground for a long time. It grew into an EF4 tornado. It killed a couple of dozen people, and one of them was the daughter of one of our friends of the program, Matt Collins, who runs the Magnolia Foundation. They started the Magnolia Foundation because they went through the process of what it's like to have to bury your child. And they looked at that process, and they realized how difficult it is. They realized that many people any given time in our country are going through that, and they wanted to help out because they understand the expense. And so they started the Magnolia Foundation. The Magnolia Foundation helps any families who have lost children age 0 to 18, and they help with funeral expenses, they help with commemorative care, they help with basically everything, the expenses you would think exist and then the ones you would never think of. And so Matt reached out quite a while ago because he watches the show, and I got to know him, and I said, we want to partner with them. We want to partner with you guys. And so we did. And so the first thing we did is we put the website right there on the bottom of the screen. If you just want to donate to them directly, themagnoliafoundation.com/give, and several of you did that. We also have items in our store, patestateMaterial.com, that are specialty to the Magnolia Foundation, where portions of those proceeds are just going to the Magnolia Foundation. And man, we just cut them a check for several $1,000s today. I got to tell you also, there have been several private donors that have reached out with very, very sizable contributions. The Detroit Airport, Detroit International, Wayne Airport up there in Detroit, one of the biggest contributors. They reached out, because I've told several stories about being in the Detroit airport on the show after Ohio State-Michigan games. And so there's some folks at the airport who watch the show. So they're part of a charity up there. And I think they have a golf tournament every year. Anyway, $10,000. I'm not even sure they wanted me to share it, but $10,000 contribution that they cut to the Magnolia Foundation to help families specifically there in Southeast Michigan. So they do incredible work there. I am mentioning it again on the show because it is December 16th. This is a really, really hard time of year for people who are going through that. There's never an easy time. People who haven't been through it, including me, cannot fully understand it, and I understand that. As much as we can understand it, what we understand is it helps to help. And so if you are able out there, I would strongly encourage you, if you're blessed and you're well off financially and you're just looking for ways to help, that's a really good place to help. themagnoliafoundation.com/give, and you can check out in the Pate State store our You Are Loved line there, and portions of those proceeds go to the Magnolia Foundation as well.